Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Wells. I'm with Shared Science. We are a local nonprofit here in Long Beach, California, teaching STEM education to K-12 kids. And today we are hosting an Hour of Code discussion panel, specially geared towards teachers. And with me today, I have Nancy Schmitt. She's an elementary school teacher at Long Beach Unified School District. Burk Murray, one of our extraordinary mad scientists at Shared Science and a coder extraordinaire, and Jacqui Viale, one of our board members and also a educator at the Long Beach City Library, as well as some other local community programs. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Hooray.
So Hour of Code, Shared Science has always felt that coding is one of the essential skills that students have or need in this upcoming generation. It's a language all of its own. Obviously, coding has variance, but being able to communicate with computers and the common tools that we use is one of those essential skills. So we thought we would kick off our Hour of Code discussion with and for teachers by sharing one of the tools that we particularly love. And so I'm going to share my screen. And it's going to be this one. And so what I want to point out is that all you have to do is go to code.org and sign up and create an account. And what I'm showing you here is the welcome email that you get from code.org that has everything that you need to get started. So you can choose your course and follow the links, set up your classroom section and start teaching. It really is that easy. So one of the things that you can do to prep yourself is go through their Get Starting guide. And I've already got that up on my screen. So get started on code.org. They have all of these great links to videos, and you can click on them and get an overview of the teacher dashboard so you can see what it looks like and so forth. And then if you just go directly to their website, you'll see that they have lots and lots of opportunities easily categorized by grade level, by hour of code, or longer duration courses. It's already there for you as a teacher, and they teach you how to teach it. So code.org, big thumbs up. And what I was hoping with our panel discussion today is that we could have Nancy, Burk, and Jacqui share some of their tips, tricks, and insights for Hour of Code, because they've all had some experience in delivering these lessons. So my first question for you guys is, where do you recommend, or excuse me, what Hour of Code lesson did you choose to deliver this week? And where did you find it and why did you choose it? Nancy, did you want to start us off?
Sure, I'd love to start you off. And I'm a 4-5 combo teacher this year and doing it all online. I have traditionally done this in a computer lab situation where we all would watch a video on the smart board and then each kid would work at their computer. In this case, everybody's already sitting at their computers, but they are sharing a screen with me. So I still am doing that same method where I start usually with one of the inspirational videos that they have. And every year seems to have a different theme. And this year we have an AI theme. But I played the AI game and I'm planning to do it later on this week, but I actually started with the Minecraft game.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know, AI is artificial intelligence.
So Minecraft is great because it's a drag and drop and it's pretty easy. And there are a couple videos, one from Mark Zuckerberg and one from Bill Gates, trying to describe to you why drag and drop programming works so well. So I have the kids do that. We watch the video for the Minecraft. There are actually 3 or 4 different Minecrafts you can do. There's the hero's journey and an aquatic one, but we all did one together, and they watched me for maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and they were like, well, that's great, Miss Schmitt. We love watching you, but we're going to do it ourselves. And so instantly, they all wanted to get on there, do it themselves, and it was the quietest 45 minutes I've ever had, you know, and the kids, every once in a while, somebody would unmute and say something, but for the most part, all of the kids were just online coding, barely even asking questions.
So
They're
super easy to deliver, like
really
it's not a
instinctive.
lot of work necessarily on part of the instructor for a first time out.
There's really not that much work to do. And I like the drag and drop first. I'm going to try the AI. And then next week, I'm going to do scratch programming. It's a little bit more involved, but they can do a fun thing where they make a holiday card. And those
So
are
that's the thing
all
about-
available. They're all
That's the
available
thing.
in the resources.
Hour of Code is not just, well, it's Computer Science Education Week, but you know, really all year, these tools are available to you, and you don't have to restrict your hour of code to just this December 7th through 11th, 2020, but you can, you know, enjoy it the whole month and assign assignments, especially through code.org. You can set up assignments and lessons.
Exactly. I actually did that this year. I have my own account. There's like a 6-digit code that the kids have to know. They just go in, sign in over on this on the side. There's a place where they can sign in. They find my class and they just need their 6-digit code. And I had to put their names in ahead of time, but that's all I did. You know, first name, last initial, easy.
And then they had access.
And I
So
can make
that's-
any assignments I want, although my assignment this week was just explore what you're interested in.
All right, so that makes it super easy. All right, Burke, do you want to share Burke's experience delivering his hour of code lesson for shared science was a little bit different. You want to share?
Yes, it was. I'd like to share my screen if I can. I'm going to show off a couple of things. So I approached this as an opportunity to do something that was outside of my comfort zone, and so that I could learn something as well. And I chose a Python class that had graphics programming that showed that automatically put sprites or little pictures of people on the screen at random distances from each other, measured the distances, and then decided whether they were properly socially distant. And if so, then they gave air high fives. And if not, you know, one of them said, we need to get some masks. And so the graphics were a new thing for me. I found this class at, I believe at codester.com through hourofcode.com. If you just do some Googling, you'll come up with lots of classes. Let me show you what's attractive about this approach. It is this. Here's what the kids get to see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So when the kids come in, they get an overview or a preview that shows you what they're going to learn and some of the steps. And there's an example given here. And they can get started as simply as just clicking get started. This can be all self-directed if you'd like it to be. Here's the finished program. You can just click to run it. You don't need any external sources. And you can see in just a second, we're going to see the little grid and the sprites. Social distancing high five. Great job. Now, here's the part that really sold me. This is the teacher's guide. This is how to teach this class. Now, I'm lazy, so I didn't watch this until after I had taught it.
So Burke is is an advanced coder. If you're a newbie, you know,
Yes.
you can
Well,
find a completely turnkey solution. But if you, you know, have some knowledge, then you can start the
I
instructions.
would watch the video first.
I know. And I think that's probably the best idea. The teacher's guide is very in-depth. It includes the learning objectives, the standards, the activities, and a set of cheat codes to show you how you step through and what the answers are to common errors or what the remedies are to common errors. And the big one for kids, especially I had third graders, is spelling. You just need to go, you need to be very careful. If they have to type anything, we had in this program the name Michael, and no one could get Michael spelled twice the same way.
Right.
As long as you misspell it consistently, it's fine. But if, if you jumble it up, then it can't tell all the variables apart.
You didn't want to just call it Mike?
That probably would have been a good idea. Mike and Emma. Everybody could spell Emma. So yeah, the teacher's guide has all of the debugging answers. It's got, ideas for them to extend the program. It's got just a ton of stuff, and it's written in a way that anybody can pick it up. You don't need any special technical knowledge to understand the teacher's guide. Now, the nice part for the kids is that this organization, Codesters, has a very powerful set of Python tools, so they can easily build things like graphics without having to go old school and spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out little tiny things. Everything
And
just
and
snaps into
Burke, it's
place.
all online, right? There's no downloading. There's no. It's
Right.
just right there.
Yep.
Burke,
It's exactly.
did they have to supply an email address or anything to use Codesters?
No.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I notice is I always try and look at anything that I'm going to have my kids, I try and play everything first.
Right.
And some things will require them to put in an email address, or they want something. And I know like our school email address doesn't work. So
Right.
you have to kind of watch out for that before you just
Yeah.
jump
So
right into.
neither the program nor the teacher's guide require any sort of login. You
That's
can set up an account and you'll learn more. And I don't want to take anything away from code.org. They're doing a fantastic job and no reason not to sign up with them to learn more. But this is simple and turnkey. And I think if my kids had been a little bit older and better at typing, they would have had a better time, but they did okay as it was. And we all got to learn something.
And I will say, we got an email. Shared Science received an email back right after the class. One of the students, Fiona, was super excited about it and wanted to do what's next. So good job, Burke.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. Well, I wanted to also ask, since Jacqui has an affiliation with the Long Beach Public Library, Jacqui, could you share any Hour of Code resources that the library offers?
Yeah, sure. I also just wanted to add on to what Burke was telling us. I have used the Codesters classroom aspect before when we've done our Tech Girls camp. And it's a great tool. And so if there's teachers interested in setting up a classroom aspect, it does have that as well if you do create a classroom or do a login. But I love that you can just log in and just get online and do it. And I also think that there are many other organizations. If you do go to the Hour of Code website, it's sort of a overall website that shows all the different resources. But I know that a lot of parents and teachers are concerned about the screen time that kids are experiencing during this online education time. And I wanted to remind everybody that the Long Beach Public Library is not open to the public, but you can still check out books. And we have a pretty extensive and large collection of maker and coding books that you can check out. And if you go to lbpl.org, which is our Long Beach Public Library website, it gives you instructions on how to check out books, and you can go to 4 different locations to pick them up, and you can designate which library is closest to you to pick up, and there are different days and times that they're available. But you can get a book on Scratch coding, you can get a book on Python coding, and it has a lot of them have illustrations and detailed instructions so that a kid could read about it and then apply what they're learning and go online to one of the free resources like the Scratch platform, which we all know is a fabulous platform and has so much potential to be for beginners up to very advanced programming.
Absolutely. And I know that if you follow the online links from the library's website, the library regularly offers free online classes and coding opportunities as well. And it's all free to use just with your library card.
Yes, and you can find some of their YouTube videos that they have put out on the LBPL YouTube channel, and you can search the hashtag LB Make Time, and that's some of their maker videos. And you can also always call the library if you just go onto the LBPL website and look up contact information. You can call us up and ask for information about coding activities or what book to check out. And a librarian can help you find those resources, and it's free. And if you don't have a library card, they'll help you sign up for it online. So that's a great resource for families and teachers who maybe don't want to have everything online all the time, can get some more hands-on resources.
Great, great. So as we wrap up our little discussion, encouraging teachers to take advantage of Hour of Code, what are some hints or tips you all would like to share with teachers on, like, maybe the first time you did it, there was a big gotcha, or whatever your thoughts are on that?
I would add this year, I know I have signed up, and so I am hoping I will have more opportunities for the kids to save the work that they're doing. Because oftentimes when they're working, they can't save anything. And really in the beginning, when they're just learning how to do things, they don't necessarily want to or need to save things. But I think the Scratch allows them to save some, and I thought we can do some of that through, especially like with the holiday cards, so they can save some things rather than just having to say, oh well, that was great, see you later item that I made. They do sometimes like to be able to save things. So doing a little research into what can be saved and what can't is nice for the kids to have an opportunity to do that.
Burke, any thoughts?
Yes, Replit was a great find for us. It's repl.it. And it is a programming environment online where the kids can save their code. They can also collaborate with each other and with the instructor. So I can go directly into someone's program and show them where Michael is misspelled and retype it myself if necessary while they're watching. And if they create an account, they can save their code indefinitely. It supports like 35 different programming languages, including Python and Java and JavaScript and C, and everything you could imagine is there. So it's free, it's easy, and you can create groups of kids who can all collaborate on code and have fun. We just finished a class, a 12-week long class, teaching kids how to write text adventures in Python, old school, like Zork-like text adventures. We had a ball.
That sounds fun.
And they all got to keep their work afterwards because it resides in their Replit accounts.
Cool.
What about teaching on Zoom? I know teachers are getting pretty savvy with delivering their regular daily classes, but teaching coding on Zoom, is that more complicated? Any challenges?
Yeah.
Jacqui and Nancy?
I would say that actually it adds some advantages, because like Burke was pointing out, when you can go into a code that somebody's working on, or if you can share your screen and show what you're typing, it's almost easier sometimes.
Sure.
It's nicer if you can work in small groups. This is the one advantage to teaching a 4-5 combo, is I teach them separately. So I'm only working with about half as many kids as usual. And it makes it a little bit easier to handle those issues that might come up, because we can share screens, and it's not as hard to do with like when you have 35 in the room or in the Zoom call. Yeah.
And what about, so this is during the school day, and have you assigned any work or given them anything to do after school?
And honestly, I just gave them the link and said, just go on and play. Okay. And they can do that easily, and they can access into my account anytime, but they don't have to. They could, like I said, there were 3 different Minecraft things, and they said, can we do, the aquatic one, or can I do the hero's journey one? Absolutely. Go ahead.
And can you see that as an instructor, can go back and see who was participating and doing that, or were they just doing it on their own?
They were doing it on their own. So I don't have any knowledge of what exactly everyone was doing. But I've been toying with the idea of having kids work together and then I'd have to create breakout rooms and have kids sharing screens. So yeah, I'm not ready to do that quite yet. But it could work. It could work, because I would like them to be, you know, interacting with other kids. If we did it in the lab, there are often kids who work on the same thing right next to each other, and they like to, you know, get in and tell each other what to do or share ideas. So that's what I'm encouraging now. It's just like, does anyone have something they want to share? And then they can share their screen.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So,
you know, can I just point out about
Oh, yeah.
Scratch real quick, Michelle? If
Yeah.
you do make an account on Scratch, like Nancy said, so you can save work, a teacher can create a studio, it's called, or a collection in Scratch, and everybody can share their project in that studio. So everybody can go in and see what each person is working on and then rework it on their own. And I think there's a huge value in just letting kids go on this stuff, because often they're getting more advanced than I am on it. You know, if you just let them be creative, that's what it's all about. Learning, problem solving, and being creative.
So if you don't know, Scratch is a drag and drop programming tool. It was developed by MIT, and you can go, I think it's scratch.mit.edu, and you can go there, create an account, or just work anonymously online. Students do have to create an account for Scratch if you work directly through the Scratch platform. But I think if you assign it through code.org, you might not, then it'll work as Nancy has suggested earlier. Hey, so to wrap up, you know, I had expressed Shared Science's feeling about, you know, why Hour of Code is important. But if I could just hear from each of you and your thoughts on why Hour of Code. Nancy?
Well, I think it's just because we're all talking about it all at once. I think there's that just shared feeling that's cool about it. And because they've created the code.org site, it's all there for you. It's so easy. And there's so many inspirational videos. I've been showing a video a week for the last 2 weeks and saying, oh, we're going to code soon. You know, I promise we'll get to this. So they've been excited to do it. They could have done it anytime if they wanted to, but this was great.
No, that's a great idea to encourage or create enthusiasm around it. I like the video idea. Jacqui, any thoughts on why Hour of Code?
I think it is really cool if you think about it. They promote this on the code.org website in the Hour of Code. It's one of the biggest worldwide events ever. The most people doing the same thing at more or less the same time. And to think about at this time when we're all so separate, actually we're doing the Hour of Code is something that the whole world can do together and share that. And I think that's amazing.
Right, Burke?
Well, I think the promotion definitely helps, and it's a very accessible idea. And that means that I can draw in more students who might not sign up for a robotics class, right? So in my class, girls outnumbered boys 2-to-1, which is fantastic because it was an accessible program that didn't look daunting. And they had heard about people doing it, the Hour of Code.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And if anyone's interested in shared science coding classes and maybe taking a class with Burke, he's really good. Visit us at www.sharedscience.org. All right. Have a great Hour of Code experience. Take care.
Yes, go code.
Bye-bye.